All right, friends and family. I've had this big green egg for about 6 months. Been terrified to smoke anything long, so go big or go home. Went and purchased a 16, 17 pound brisket at Costco this morning. So I'm gonna run through exactly what I've done and what I will do in order to get this thing going. So the first thing I've done is taken everything that was in this egg and completely cleaned it out. So right now there's nothing left. You can see that I've got some oak wood set aside. I'm going to be using that just to help get that blackness around the brisket, and then hard lump charcoal. So next step will probably be getting that brisket ready, and all right, so we've trimmed up the fat a little bit off this brisket, and we're going to go with a very simple seasoning. We're going to use the yellow mustard as the glue or adhesive for the kosher sea salt, and black pepper. That's going to be about 90% of our mix, and then put a little bit of the salt lick made here in Texas, garlic dry rub in the mix. So we'll get that going. All right, it's time to get this bad boy going. All right, so it's about 11:15 at night. We just got the brisket on. My plan is to cook this bad boy at about 275 degrees. And then taking a little note out of the Franklin barbecue recipe book, I'm going to be taking it off at 180 degrees, wrapping it in butcher paper, and then putting it back on fat side up until it's about 203 degrees, and then we'll be taking it off. So I'm hoping it's going to cook well through the night. I've got the little the cheater sheet, the barbecue guru fan on it, if you saw me setting that up. So all that's going to do is influx air into the grill to try and maintain a consistent temperature. So I've got it set at about 275, and then I've also got a internal thermometer into the brisket, so that way I can make sure I'm watching the internal temp of the brisket while I'm inside. So that's it for now. I'm gonna try and get some rest while this thing cooks. I've taken the egg off the grill. It's 180 degree internal temp. So what I'm gonna do now is wrap it in some butcher paper and set it back on to get to about 203 degrees. So right now it's 5:45 in the morning, so we cooked that for a little over about 6.5 hours to get it to 180. So now it's at the temperature that we need it, and we're gonna wrap it up in some butcher paper and throw it back on. Okay, so I pulled it off the egg at about 7:15 this morning, and it's 9:45 now. So we've got 2.5 hours where we just left it in the butcher paper and put it in a cooler. So now is the moment of truth. We are gonna unravel it and start to cut to see if this thing's ready. First brisket. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous right now. Tastes amazing.
Does it?
Yep. I mean, if I'm being super critical, it could probably be a little more moist. So there's a few things that I could probably do differently next time, but man, does it taste good. All right, I've cut into it now. A few takeaways. The crust considering my wife's comments and mine now that we've tasted it, is really good. It's real simple, like I said, just salt and pepper, about 90%, and then about 10% a dry rub. So it has outstanding flavor. You know, if I were being hypercritical, it's definitely a little bit on the dry side, and that could be due to the fact that I cooked at a little bit of a higher temperature, so it didn't have as much time to cook. I mean, that was about a 7.5, 8 hour smoke, whereas since it was on 275, whereas if I was on 225, I probably would have gone 14 to 16 hours. So that could have a little bit to do with it, but all in all, awesome taste. That kind of shows you what it looks like right there. I mean, just awesome flavor. So we're gonna be doing some brisket sandwiches today, and tomorrow we'll probably be doing some taqueria style brisket tacos with some pickled onions and pickled jalapenos, a little bit of a glaze that we're probably gonna make, some kind of chipotle glaze. And so this brisket is gonna be some good eating this week. So appreciate you guys watching.